Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's tutorial is about thumb socks. In this tutorial, I will show everything that you need to know to knit thumb socks. I will divide this complete tutorial into small videos and put it as a playlist on my channel so that it becomes easier for you to navigate. So if you know some steps, like for example casting on stitches and making this rib, you can skip that and directly go to the video that you want to learn. So let's get started. So first thing that you must know to knit socks is measurements. So these are some basic measurements that you should know. I will show you on this socks only that how you can consider this as your foot. First is circumference of your foot, which will be measured like this. Okay, so in my case it is 9 inches. Next is length of your foot, which will be measured from here, the bottom of your toe, till your end of your foot. Okay, so in my case it is 8 inches, but as you've seen that I have knitted only 7 inches, so we have to keep it a bit shorter while knitting. That I will show you while teaching this step. Next is circumference of the leg, which is this part. So it completely depends upon the length that you want to give to your sock. So I have made the minimum possible length only. So this part you have to measure around your leg. Depends on how much long you want to make this sock. So in my case this is also 9 inches. And next is length of thumb. So this is required if you are making thumb socks. If you are making normal socks, then the length that of foot will start from here only, beginning of toe, but in this case we have measured from here, right? So in that case you will measure from top only. Okay, so next is length of toe, which is around 2 inches. So these are some basic measurements that you must have if you want to knit socks. So now next step is casting on stitches. So the number of stitches that you will cast on, it completely depends upon the yarn that you're using. I am using Oswald Winter King and it is 8-ply yarn. Okay, so according to my measurements and my yarn, I will cast on 48 stitches. So here's a small tip I would like to give you. I have casted on like 48 stitches according to like circumference of my foot only, because here I need this much length. Okay, so a small tip is that always cast on a bit less number of stitches that you require here. It is just to give a good grip from your rib. You can also like knit it on a needle of small number, but I have knitted the whole sock on same number only. So yeah, these are the two things that you can do to give good grip from here. I like to cast on lesser number of stitches only, but if if knitting on a small needle works for you, that is also fine, right? But these socks I will knit on same number only. Okay, so if you want, if you know how to increase stitches, like after the rib you can increase the stitches that you want here. Okay, so yeah, let's start with casting on stitches. I will cast on using long tail cast on, or you can use any method. I have taught two methods of cast on my channel, which is a basic cast on, which is for complete beginners, and second is tubular cast on, which is the cast on that gives a completely round look to the beginning of your work. Like here in long tail cast on you can see this edge, but in tubular cast on your work starts from this rib only and you don't see any line in the beginning. So for both of them I will give the link in the description. This cast on I have not taught on my channel, so I will show right now. It is called long tail cast on, which I have used here. Okay. For long tail cast on you need to decide on a long tail that you need to cast on the number of stitches. So for example I need 48 stitches, so there is no, like, I have tried many things to make sure that I leave appropriate length, but it is quite difficult to measure. So one method is that you can wrap around your needle like this 48 times, yeah, or whatever number of stitches you want, and then once you reach 48 you can there you can make a slip knot. Okay, but this time I will just do that with estimate only. So this much I have chosen, and here I will make a slip knot. I have also shown on my channel how to make slip knot. To that also I will give the link in the description. So in this tutorial I will try to cover every small thing that is required to knit socks and I have not yet taught on my channel. So once you have made the slip knot, what you need to do is this end should be on the inner side and the running end to which yarn is connected, that should be on the outer side. The tail should be on the inner side and the running yarn should be on the outer side, like this. Okay, so now you need to take this finger and separate both the strands of yarn, and then use your thumb like this to divide them, right? So next is twist your thumb, actually whole of your hand, like this. Okay, so here the back of my hand is on the top. You need to rotate your hand to bring palm of your hand on the top, like this. Okay, now take this needle under the thumb yarn here, and take this yarn and pull it in between your thumb yarn, and then again use your thumb to stretch this yarn. Okay, I will show you one more time. Use the finger to separate both the strands and then use your thumb to divide them. Then move your hand, take your needle under your thumb yarn and pull the yarn on your finger from in between the thumb yarns, and then again stretch this yarn using your thumb. So if you have noticed that we started from this step and we end also on this step, which helps us in continuation of the stitches. I'll show you how. So from here we started, twist hand, and here we are ending. So what we do is, so like this we can cast on these stitches in continuation, right? So whenever you have pulled the yarn, you need to stretch this yarn immediately using your thumb, and again twist your hand, pull this yarn and stretch this yarn using thumb again, right? So we need to cast on 48 stitches. So one of the reason that I have kept this number as 48, because the pattern that I will be teaching later on, which is this pattern, it wants the stitches, number of stitches to be divided by 6. Alright, this pattern is that way. So make sure that whatever a number you're casting on, it must be divisible by 6. So I have casted on 48 stitches here. See, I was quite right in estimating the tail I want. This I am knitting this sock on a circular needle because I have one. The things I will teach, you can knit it on double pointed needle as well if you know, or else you can knit it with magic loop method. I will teach that also later on. We will need that to knit this thumb and this fingers part. So yeah, this is a completely seamless sock, like you won't be required to do any kind of knitting, sewing. As you can see from here also, it is completely seamless. Okay, so yeah, if you don't have this much small needles, you can knit it with any needle. Even if you don't want to knit in like circular way, you can knit it on straight needles. Like whatever I will teach, it will work there. Just that this one thing you would need to figure out, right, where side you need to keep your thumb. Otherwise till here everything can work. You just, if you are knitting on straight needle, you will just need one seam here, that's it. But if you're knitting on circular needles, no seam will be required. So let's start. Once you have casted on your stitches, next step is to make this rib, which is 1 by 1 rib. So now I will show you how to make 1 by 1 rib. If you know how to make, you can completely skip this part and go to the next video in which I will teach how to make this pattern. Okay, so yeah, let's start. Stitch marker, so if you have not ever knitted on circular needles, there is not much that needs to be learned. One thing that needs to be taken care of is that all the number of stitches are on one side, like all these should be straight and no one should be twisted, otherwise it will be horrible because your work will be twisted as well. Okay, so yeah, nothing else. Now normally we need to knit. Second thing is that this running side should be on the right side, and this from where we started to cast on, this should be on the left, right? Don't exchange that. Don't do it like this. Oh, okay, always keep it like this. So to do one by one rib, it is like first is stitch will be knitted, second purl, third again knit, fourth again purl. Okay, so to knit, insert the needle from below the stitch like this. Okay, from here, from below the stitch like this. Take the running yarn, wrap it around this needle that you have inserted. Now pull this wrapped yarn below. Like this, and let go the previous stitch like this. Okay, now to purl, bring the yarn forward like this. Okay, to purl you need to insert the needle from top like this. Again wrap the yarn around the needle and pull this yarn upwards, and again drop this stitch. So you need to keep dropping these stitches on the left needle. Now again bring this, because we need to knit next stitch, take this yarn back of a needle. Again to knit, insert from below, wrap the yarn. So whenever you pull the needle from below, insert the needle from below, you need to pull it back down. Like you inserted it upward, now you need to pull it back downwards with this yarn that you have wrapped around the needle, and drop the previous stitch. To purl, bring the yarn forward. Now we will insert the needle from top and pull it back upwards. Wrap and pull it upward and drop off the stitch. So what am I trying to say is, when you knit, you insert the needle from below, right? So you pull the yarn down. From purl, you insert the needle from top, so you pull the yarn upwards. Okay, if it makes easier for you to remember. Like this only we will continue. Knit one stitch, purl next. Yeah, so like this only you will keep knitting one and purling next stitch. When you reach the last stitch of this row, it should be the purl stitch, if you have cast on even number of stitches, it will automatically happen. So we started with knit stitch first, so last stitch should be purl, and again you have to start with knit stitch and purl stitch, knit stitch and purl stitch. Alright, so once you keep doing that, this kind of rib will be formed. I have knitted around a little bit more than 1 inch. It's completely up to you that how much longer you want to make this rib. So yeah, that's all about 1x1 rib. In the next video I'll teach you how to make this beautiful pattern. Yeah, see you in the next video. Hope it was helpful to you.